we're going to go to Chuck in Hawaii. Who wants to talk about how the ACA hosts sometimes sound like they support Christianity. Okay. I'm interested on that.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Oh, there we go.
Hello?
Hey.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, you're on.
Oh,
So you want to
okay.
do you want to explain to us what you mean? Do you have any like specific examples, or because I'm not really sure what you mean supports Christianity? That could mean a lot, I feel like.
Well, generally, you guys don't say absolutely you do not believe in a God. You simply say, Matt used to always say that there is no proof that he does not exist, and so he doesn't really say an actual factual there is no God.
I mean, I've said that on the show. I've said that several times on the show. My view is that there aren't any gods, but I don't give a deductive proof for an argument for that. I don't think that that's going to convince a theist. They're just going to deny a premise. So I do it more on like a worldview comparison, that I just think regardless of how you kind of structure the God hypothesis, there's a favorable indifference hypothesis. But so that's not true.
Well, I mean, you don't generally when you talk sometimes.
Well, first off, Chuck, why does it matter? I'm just curious. Why does it matter? Like if somebody declares that they, like if they just, because they're giving you their honest position, like, hey, I don't know if God exists, or I just don't believe God exists, or I think like God doesn't exist. What I'm not understanding like what you're getting at. What's the problem?
Well, it's just the idea of atheists in your organization anyway. Most of the atheists there in your organization are Christians before that they've dropped off Christianity and dropped out of it, but they seem to kind of support it, because I was speaking against it quite a bit a couple of weeks ago, but they kind of got ticked off at me and mad because I was telling them that Jesus himself is the devil, and the religion itself is evil of Satan, and so the Christians who had used to be Christians in your organization, they seem to get kind of mad about the idea of somebody.
You're giving us a lot of vague kind of answers here, so I'm not really. Really
Chuck,
confused on the productivity here.
Are you a Christian, ex-Christian, theist, deist? What's your position?
I grew up in a church, I guess, but I don't think I've ever really been sucked into it too much, because God was after me. Jehovah is the real God, the God of the Bible, and that's what I'm with.
So you're a Christian?
No, Christianity is a false religion. They worship the devil. They actually worship the devil.
Now I'm even more confused.
Christians.
Are you practicing Judaism?
No.
I'm crazy. I just heard him say he follows Jehovah.
Yeah, I'm really confused.
Did I misunderstand what you said?
Well, that's the God of the Bible, is Jehovah, spelled YHVH. That is the God of the Bible. The Christians do not worship Jehovah. The Christians worship the God they call Jesus.
Right. So the New Testament is true, but the Old Testament, the New Testament is not true, but the Old Testament is true?
No. What I'm saying is there are two gods in the Bible. One is Jehovah, who is not a Trinity, and the other God is Christian, who is a Trinity, and he is actually the devil.
Okay, so the Trinity is evil, and Jehovah is the true God.
Yes.
And what can you support this hypothesis with, biblically speaking?
Oh, the Bible. Just look at the Bible. The Bible is just all through the Bible is this God, YHVH.
Justin asked you for something specific. You don't just say the Bible. That's literally his question was, does you have anything biblical to support? You just said the Bible.
Well, that is the Bible. That is the Bible, the God of the Bible, Jehovah.
Okay.
HVH. That is the God of the Bible.
Is
Jehovah.
Jesus the Son of God?
He is not. Huh?
Is Jesus the Son of God?
No. Jesus is the devil. Jesus
Okay, so
is the false.
If the New Testament's not true, then how do you know that Jesus is any of these things you're claiming? Because supposedly, like, your idea that Jesus is anything would need to be supported by the New Testament text somehow. That's the only information you have about him.
The religion, Christianity, is a Trinity, three fathers.
Chuck, I'm putting you on mute. If you don't answer a direct question, I'm just gonna move on. I'm just not. This is not interesting at all to me. It's just like really confusing. Just help clean it up by answering a direct question, please. I'm getting mildly frustrated. So, Justin, do you want to ask again?
Yeah, according to Matthew 8:29, Jesus is the Son of God. When he's confronted by the demons, they ask him, "What have you to do with us, Son of God?" So, is the New Testament true? Because you're basing Jesus as being like this antithesis to Yahweh on the New Testament text. So I'm trying to figure out, do you believe the New Testament is true and you just have a unique perspective of how you interpret it, or the New Testament is just not true?
Well, actually, the New Testament, there's two parts to it. There's first the story of this son of Mary. His name is not Jesus. His name is Joshua. But
I know
there's another guy who comes along named Paul, and he brings along this religion, worship of the devil.
Are the Gospels true?
Christianity. Well, I don't know. It may be, but the story about this guy, the son of Mary, is true.
And where do we find the story about this guy from Mary?
In the Bible, in the New Testament.
But you just told me the New Testament's not true.
No. Jesus, this guy, his name is not Jesus. Jesus.
I don't care what his name is. I'm trying to figure out what you believe about the New Testament. So either the Gospels are true or they're not. Is it a yes or a no? They're true.
Well, pretty much true. Yeah, I would say they're pretty much true. But
so in Matthew 8, when the demons declare that Jesus is the Son of God, and then others, like in Matthew 14, he's declared as being the Son of God. Is he legitimately the Son of God?
Well, it doesn't say that. It says that he is the everlasting Father.
It says he is the Son of God. Matthew 8:29. Matthew 8:29 says it.
I don't know what it says.
Suddenly they shouted, "What have you to do with us, Son of God? Have you come to torment us before the time?" Even the demons know that Jesus is the Son of God, according to the New Testament. There's dozens of references in the Gospels of Jesus being the Son of God. They even taunted him on the cross. If you're the Son of God, come down from the cross. Satan taunted him in the desert when he was tempting him. If you are the Son of God, turn these stones into bread. The New Testament is pretty clear that he is, in fact, the Son of God.
Oh, this guy is the everlasting Father. He is not the Son of God. God has no son.
So then the Gospels are wrong, right?
No, not the whole thing.
Okay, how do you determine what parts are right and what parts are wrong?
Sit down and read it. You should be able to see it.
Wait, hold on.
You can read.
Okay, but reading it doesn't signify like this is the right part and this is the wrong part, right? There's some analysis to be done. Would you agree? Well,
yeah, it's probably that that Jehovah is going to have to.
By the way, it's like weird for you to say. It's weird for you to say read it and then like you were very confident about this position and then Justin read something to you that you didn't know about. So
I
I'm a
didn't.
little confused.
But I can talk about it.
All right. Justin, do you want to?
Jehovah is the everlasting.
How do you
Father.
know
He is not
that even
Son.
Jehovah is real? We already know that you don't believe in Jesus because you just told me the New Testament's not true. You pick and choose. Is everything in the Old Testament true?
Huh? Look,
Can the
God
can the Old
comes
Testament
to
be
you.
trusted? If I open up my Old Testament, the book that tells us about Yahweh, and I read it, can I be assured that everything in that is true?
You're not reading a Yahweh. There
Oh my
is no
God,
such
Chuck!
thing.
yeah,
Next
it's a
time
yes
you
or
don't
no.
answer a question, next time you don't answer a question, I'm moving on. The audience is going to celebrate. So let's just please give yourself a favor here.
All you really need to know is Jesus is the devil, and you're a worshiper of the devil.
All right. I'm glad that you got to get that sentence out.
He's stuck on a loop.
I'm really not interested in that, Chuck. Please get it together.